let's talk about Stranger Things 2. Probably don't need to say this, but spoilers ahead, so click that like button and come back later. So after watching this show back in 2016, I was ready to see them again in 2017. My favorite character this season has to be Steve. I remember he was my least favorite character back in season 1, besides Papa of course. But in season 2, he's like now my favorite character, and my favorite character in season 3 too. In the first season, he's like a stereotypical bully, but in this season, he's a lot more caring of a person, and he even becomes the babysitter of the party. Out of all the characters I'm looking forward to the most on seeing again in season 4, Steve is probably the one I'm looking forward to seeing the most. So let's get to the elephant in the room and talk about the Lost Sister episode. So honestly, I kinda like this episode. Sure, it sidetracks a lot of things from the last episode with the Demodogs and everything, but I like this episode for its world building. It was nice to see an episode that finally addresses that there are more kids like 11. Also, I got chills when I heard that Papa might still be alive. Something I really liked about this season than I did with the last one is that Will definitely has more screen time in season 2 than he did in season 1. Sure, he's still a damsel in distress, but it's still nice to see more of him since he was barely in season 1. And like mentioned in my last video of Stranger Things and how I love the monster designs, that goes the same for the Mind Flayer. Even though it's just a bunch of dust made up to be a giant spider, it's weirdly the most intimidating villain in Stranger Things right now. I have 3 favorite moments from this season. The first has to be when they tie Will up and they tell him stories about his past while Will gives them Morse code messages to tell them how to defeat the Mind Flayer. It gives us some background on who Will's character is, plus it's just a really fun montage. My second favorite scene has to be when 11 closes the gate. Like, this scene is so awesome. From seeing 11 from using all her powers to defeat the Mind Flayer, to seeing the gate close and stopping all the upside down monsters was just so amazing and emotional. And my third favorite scene has to be that snowball dance. This was something that was built up from the final episode of season 1, and I was so happy to see Mike and 11 get their happy ending. I give this season a 9.2 out of 10, giving it an A. Anyway, that's the review. Go down to those comments and tell me what you thought. And click that like and subscribe button to keep up to date with all my latest content. See ya.